Hey guys, MCU Collector here with video number 4 in the Hasbro Marvel Legends series Caliban Build-A-Figure X-Men Wave 4. Here we have Weapon X, and here I'm getting back on track with going in order as they appear on the back of the package. So we'll get right to it. So Weapon X looking awesome. You can see that the accessory that he comes with is an interchangeable unhelmeted, unmasked head, whatever you want to call it, and he does come with one of the legs for Caliban, and this figure just looks awesome straight out of the package. Side artwork looking very cool of Weapon X Wolverine there. The back of the package, the artwork looks awesome, and again, we're going in order. So I had skipped ahead and did Jubilee, but we're going back in order. So Weapon X right now, Forge later, then Blink, then Skullbuster, then the Caliban Build-A-Figure. Let's take a look at that bio. Okay, Weapon X. The Weapon X program experiments on humans and mutants alike, including Wolverine, who undergoes a brutal process that bonds adamantium to his skeleton. So that's actually a really good bio. I like that. There is the UPC for all you folks. Now let's get to it and open this bad boy up. Alright guys, so here is the Weapon X figure out of the package, and what a very interesting and very cool looking figure that he is. Now this would not be an X-Men wave without some form or design of Wolverine. Here we have the Weapon X look. Now one thing that I would have really liked on this figure is if either the helmet was removable, or if we had another alternate head in which we actually see him with the helmet with the crazy facial expression, kind of like on the back artwork of the package. Unfortunately, we don't have that. Not a deal breaker, but that'd be really cool, because then when you get him into certain poses like this, you could really see kind of the anger in his face with that helmet on, which I would have liked. Not that big of a deal, but it would have been really cool. First, let's take a close look at the accessories that it comes with, the Caliban leg and the unhelmeted head. We get a close-up look at that. We'll compare this figure to the most recent Wolverine, the Tiger Stripe, and then we will go over the articulation of this guy, because there are some differences with this one, but some really cool things as well. Okay, so here is the unhelmeted Wolverine head, or Logan head. Now this thing is very wild and crazy looking, and I think obviously that of course is the real look that they're going for. I don't think it looks great, because it really shows him looking wild like an animal, but I think that's kind of the beauty of the head sculpt as well. It's not my favorite look. It's not how I'm going to be displaying this guy. We'll be displaying it with the helmeted head, but I think this is a solid effort from Hasbro to actually give us something brand new. So we've had unmasked heads already, like with the Riders Wolverine, but it's nice to get this crazy looking one now with that kind of angry face. They put some blue shading into the hair to really give it that layered look to it, so I like that they did that. It's not something that they always do with black hair, so we get a little bit of that, so that is nice. The only other accessory would be the Caliban leg that we see here, and I'm not going to really go over that. We'll go over this Caliban Build-A-Figure all together in its own video after we look at all the other figures. Now let's take a closer look at the figure itself. Okay, so here is a close look up at the Weapon X figure. Now, we've seen a lot of these reused parts with the other Wolverine figures. One thing that is new, I believe, is going to be the feet. Now, I'd have to double check back on the various different barefoot figures that we've had, but one thing that I looked at on the bottom of this, it actually says copyright Marvel 2019, so unless they updated that, I'm not sure, but I think the feet might be new. Now, one thing to note that I really like on this figure that I wish we would have gotten on other Wolverine figures is the fact that they actually painted on some hair on this guy. So he's a little hairy. We've got some chest hair throughout his torso and everything. We get it on his upper arm, and then we also get it on his forearm there. And then we also get some on his lower legs there. And I like the way they do it. It's just kind of lines in there to kind of represent the hair, and it comes out looking very good. I think they could have done a little bit more, maybe on the feet. The upper legs for sure should have a little bit of hair, but I'm glad that we get some compared to, you know, none like we've seen over and over again. You know, they sculpt it in there, but they don't paint it, and it just looks kind of odd to me. And then, well, what's weird is that they have different arms, because they have the sculpted hair on this guy, and then this one is all smooth with the painted on hair. So little bit of a difference there. I wonder why they did it that way. You would think they would have used the same. Maybe it would have been too difficult to paint the hair on over those sculpts. I'm not really sure. But really cool. Anyway, looking at the helmet, look how awesome that is. It's a lot of sculpted detail. There's not really any paint on it. You get red in the visor there. The face itself is actually the black color of his hair, and then the skin tone is painted over, so you can see it's kind of a different color from the rest of the figure, and in some areas you can kind of see towards the top where the black is really starting to bleed through, but the sculpted detail of it is really cool. No paint really even necessary. I got a little antenna there that is a little pliable. You can move that around, so that's pretty cool. One thing I was wondering is, what happens if you take the helmet off? You got this red hose. That hose does unplug from the side of the helmet, just so you know. Let me get that back in. And then we have the harness here. It looks like something we may have gotten before, but with the Wolverine torso, it may be new. It's just done in a brown color, and we got silver for the 3 different buckles of it, and you can see it just kind of comes around like so, and doesn't look like something that can be removed. It looks like it's on there for good. This belt piece is definitely on there for good. I looked all over to see if there's somewhere where you can unclip it, and it is not gonna come off, so you would have to do something to try and get that off. You can see that these gray parts, whatever these are for, are glued onto another piece that's part of the belt itself there. So these things are not removable either. This hose does not come out. These hoses do not come out. The hoses don't come out from the wrists either. So those are all kind of stuck together, but there's enough room in there so you can get the arms to move around, so that's not a problem. And then those tubes are done in a translucent red color that look pretty good. And then the belt itself is just brown, no really coloring throughout or anything like that. Not a whole lot going on the back of the figure, but really cool. We got the claws that he uses. They are a silver color. They're not metallic or anything, but they do look good. They're better than some of the white ones that we've gotten before. So I have no complaints with that there. The paint that's on these boxes here is done nicely, pretty clean. It looks like it's just only one coat, so you see a little bit of that gray bleed through on that yellow. Not a big deal. This figure still looks pretty awesome. Okay, now let's zoom out and take a look at the articulation. Okay, so to measure him out, Weapon X figure stands about 5 3/4 inches tall. So he's pretty short, which he really should be, because Wolverine's not a very tall character. Let's switch out the head and see how tall he is with the unhelmeted head, because there's some crazy wild hair. He might be a little bit higher up. If I can get that. Wow, you gotta really try and force that head on there, and it's kind of tough because then this harness that he's wearing really gets in the way, so you kind of have to work around that. And that head looks a little big to me, actually. Let's see how tall he's standing now. A little bit shorter, actually, so that actually works out good that the helmeted head is actually a little bit larger than he is there. And then he looks like an absolute wild man with this head sculpt on. That looks really good as well, but I really do like the helmeted look on this guy. So let's go over the articulation. Okay, first to go over the head, we'll look. The unhelmeted head can look down. Can't really look up because this hair is very hard, so you're not going to get any motion there because the hair is going to hit the back. There's not really any pivot in there either. So let's try the helmeted head and see how we can move that around. So that pops on nice and easily. So he can look down. Can't really look up either because again the hair is going to get in the way. We'll plug that tube back in, and that does not hinder the motion at all, so you can still turn the head, no problem there. The shoulders, this is the same torso and shoulder pieces that we get with the other Wolverine, so he has the butterfly joint. It is in there. You're going to get the arm up that high. You're not going to get a full rotation because these tubes are going to hinder that. You get upper bicep swivel. It is a double jointed elbow like so. So then you can extend it out as well. Butterfly goes back that far and then comes in that much. You get an ab crunch in there, and you can crunch down quite a lot, which is great. And again, these hoses and things do not hinder the articulation, but this one keeps wanting to pop out of the helmet on the side. So let's kind of get that back in, see if it'll stay a little bit. He can crunch back that far, which is great. The legs go out that far apart. There is a waist swivel in there. Leg can kick forward that much, and these boxes and things do not get in the way. You can go back ever so slightly. There is an upper thigh cut there. You get a double jointed knee, no boot swivel. Toe, the foot hinges down that far, hinges up that much, and then we do get a nice ankle pivot there. So that is the articulation. Now let's do a side-by-side comparison with the Tiger Stripe. Let me get this guy standing up straight. Okay, and side by side you can see they are about the same height, so that does look good. Now I know the question always gets asked on different head swaps. I'm not going to do a whole lot. The only one that I'm going to do is I'm going to try putting this head on the Tiger Stripe Wolverine to see if that's something that can even be done. And so, the ball joint looked to be about the same size. So it does go on there and looks pretty good. It's just, it looks a lot bigger compared to the mast head, which was quite small in comparison. But yes, the head does fit and it does not look terrible. However, I, for one, don't care for how that looks. The head looks too big on that body, but maybe that is just me. But there is the Wolverines. You can never have too many Wolverines. You know, we have the Old Man Logan, we have the Tiger Stripe, we have the brown suit, and then we have the other brown suit that was in the vintage wave. I actually have that on card, so I never had one, second one to open, but the Wolverines do look very good. So that's my review. You guys let me know in the comments below what you guys think of the figure. If you guys have any questions, let me know. If you guys liked the video, hit that thumbs up button. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you for watching.